I've been a cross-dresser for over 20 years. And I'll say cross-dresser because I do wear boobs and I do wear hits. So that to me is cross-dressing. It's one thing if you're wearing just an outfit. It's a whole nother thing if you're really going for the full image. So to me, that's cross-dressing. And I've been doing that since I was 14 years old. So well over 20 years. And I've never had this kind of issue except for in this big city. And everybody's like, oh, well, these people are against you. Well, I've been doing straight communities my entire life. I've been in every small town Indiana you could probably imagine doing what I can do as far as being a positive role model. And to come here and to think, oh, well, I did all this with straight people. I did all these in this small community. I thought coming here would make it a lot easier, but it's not because the community here, they're very set in their ways.
What do you think actually caused that? Because, like, why are you so different from them? Why is it that most, because I don't see a lot, I see some people coming out, speaking out. I see people actually being like, I lived this way for a while and I've seen this, and so I'm here, I'm redoing myself. Let me back
Right.
up.
Yeah.
I can reevaluate this.
Yeah.
What
It's a big social thing, really. If you're not fitting in and doing as they do, then they don't want you here.
you're out.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Agree exactly with everything that we say.
Exactly.
What what is it about you and your past that has led you to this point? Because I know every time especially when people get radicalized, when we have our very firm point of views and we're like, this is it, there's usually something that's led up to it. What is it about you and your story that has made you say, this is wrong? This has to stop. I'm going to speak out. Do what you want. Cancel me. Whatever it takes. I'm going to speak out about this. What was that trigger?
I would have to say a big part of making me want to speak more was when I became a foster parent. Um, but if we were to track it far back as childhood for me, I was a molested child. I was taken advantage by men, and they played off of my femininity, and they took advantage of that. And everything that not every last little thing, but everything that would happen, I just thought was supposed to be normal for me because this was me, and they were acknowledging my femininity, and they were, you know, giving me things. They give my dad things. My dad was kind of involved into this as well. Um, I ended up in foster care after 14. It's kind of what threw my mind differently because then I was like, okay, well, I can dress like a woman. I can pretend to be a woman and, I can, whatever I can do. And, I had my friends and they supported me. And, it wasn't about calling me a different name or calling me a different gender. It was just about them understanding that that was part of me. And I don't think that I would have started doing those things had these people not messed with me. Had my dad actually was competent enough to stay off of alcohol and drugs to protect me, I feel like things would have been completely different. And to be where I'm at now and to be looking back and to see a lot of what's going on in the community and with these pedophiles and trying to hide them, I was that kid once too. And I have all this stuff that I have to live on. Granted, I mean it's negative what happened, but I'm able to see a positive light in who I've become and the experiences that I've had to be able to use that as like my real big spring forward to fight for these kids. I don't have to know these kids to know that I'm fighting a good fight.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that to happen to my nieces and nephew, whom I adopted and who I've taken care of. I was married, but things happen. But it's always been about protecting them first, and being able to support what they want and how they want to live their lives. Like at one point, my youngest thought she was a trans boy. And although I supported her decision to want to be called a different name and go by different pronouns, I couldn't support the idea of surgeries or anything like that. Thankfully, she's in a better mindset now. She's had a boyfriend the last 3 years and they've been together, She's not going to school right now. She's taking a little mental time out of school, which is good for her because, you got to know your breaking points. And that's something I've always taught them, if there's something that's too much, just set it aside and pick it up later and start again. So for me, it all tracks back to my childhood, and to see the negative effect that's happening to other kids as well. And I've protected mine, and I only expect that others should do the same and be more involved. Be supportive, but be involved. Know what's going on. Have open conversations. Be real.
It's getting harder to do that.
It is because it's social constructs.
Yeah. I don't know, other than just keep talking and keep reaching out.
Yes.
But people are going to get scared. If you bought this kind of extremism every time somebody disagrees with you, I think it was like yesterday it was yesterday, an ICE agent was shot at.
Yeah.
We have people that if they don't agree, they're just going to shoot.
And that's that it just seems to be something that's a continued pattern. If you're not out here to at least support them or whatever, they're going to attack back. They're going to choose violence because they feel like violence silencing anything that is against them. They're winning.